Hello, my geniuses. Welcome to another biochemical lecture series. Today is a great science Lorenzo, and today we'll be talking about glucose-alanine cycle. So it's very important. It's very important because here we are talking about how amino acid is transported, which is the nitrogen amino acid is transported from the skeletal muscle to the liver, while still producing ATP for the muscle. I get it's very important. Yeah, because it's very important because it's also used in transamination. In transamination reaction, you get it too. So this pathway too comes out in the exams all the time. So stay with me to the end. You'll be learning basically most things on glucose-alanine cycle. Very well. So don't stay to the last, because in the last I'll be giving you some exam tips on the glucose-alanine cycle and other stuffs which you need for your exam. So if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on your post notification button so that anytime I drop any video, be sure to be notified. If you want me to make a good video for you, drop it down in the comment section. I promise I'll make that video for you. So let us jump right into the video. Okay. So introducing now in this topic, we talk about glucose-alanine cycle and its significance in nitrogen transport, because nitrogen should not be high in a particular tissue. If nitrogen is high, which means the ammonia level is high, and if the ammonia level is high, you have what we call hyperammonemia, and that can distort the acid-base balance, and it could destroy the tissues very well. So that is why nitrogen should be balanced in all tissues very well. Okay, now so for it to be balanced, homeostatically the body does what we call glucose-alanine cycle. So in glucose-alanine cycle, we call it the Cahill cycle. Glucose-alanine cycle or the Cahill cycle, this is when amino acid or the nitrogen in amino acid is transported from the skeletal muscle to the liver, thereby producing ATP for the muscle in the process. Transporting ammonium nitrogen or nitrogen content in ammonia or nitrogen content in amino acid, transporting it from skeletal muscle to the liver, thereby still producing ATP for the muscle in the process. So basically, since we have explained it now, it occurs during fasting, starvation, strenuous exercise, because now for you to transport the nitrogen content of ammonia from the skeletal muscle to the liver, which means what happens, you have to break down the amino acid in the process. So you have to break down the amino acid there, and it's only occur by catabolism. And during catabolism here, you break down amino acid to produce intermediate of TCA or glycolysis. You get it now? So but by doing that, you want to do make ATP, and you want to excrete and remove ammonia. So it occurs in fasting, starvation, strenuous exercise. Are you getting now? And it links protein metabolism with carbohydrate metabolism, because I told you during amphibolic nature of TCA here, we are breaking down amino acid to produce ATP, breaking down amino acid to produce ATP, and also removing excess amino acid so that the one part of the body system or one part of the tissue will not have more amino acid, because it can disrupt the body's function. So we want to link between protein metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism. So now, in the first way, now what will you start first of all? Formation of amino acid in the muscle. You get it now? So in the muscle, what happens here? Pyruvate can be transaminated. I get it now. Pyruvate can be transaminated with what we call glutamate. So when you transaminate pyruvate with glutamate, what happens? You form alanine, which is the new amino acid, and the keto acid, which is alpha ketoglutarate. You get it now? So here we are transporting amino acid from the We are transporting amino acid from the muscle here to the liver. Are you getting it? So first of all, we transaminate pyruvate with glutamate. Transaminate pyruvate with glutamate in the muscle, thereby forming alanine and forming alpha ketoglutarate. You get it? So transamination first, because pyruvate is a keto acid, while glutamate is an amino acid. So when you transaminate them, you are getting alanine, which is the new amino acid, and alpha ketoglutarate, which is the new keto acid. You get it now? So now that alanine you form will enter into the bloodstream. When it enters into the bloodstream, it will now be transported from the skeletal muscle to the liver. So in the muscle now, you form alanine. Alanine now enters into the portal system. I get it now. We have the portal vein. When it enters into the portal vein, it goes to the liver. So when it goes to the liver, you now do it now undergoes what we call transamination again. It undergoes transamination again, because you have what we call alanine transaminase. Alanine transaminase helps you to transaminate alanine to form pyruvate in the liver. But in the muscle there, we have what we call glutamate transaminase. Glutamate transaminate glutamate with what pyruvate to form alanine and alpha ketoglutarate in the muscle. Alanine now passes through the blood, especially the portal vein, goes into the liver. When they go into the liver, alanine now is transaminated with alpha ketoglutarate using alanine transaminase, because ALT enzyme is high in the liver. It is a liver specific enzyme. It is high in the liver. So when it is there, what happens? It transaminates alanine with alpha ketoglutarate to form what? Pyruvate and what? Glutamate. When you have pyruvate and what? Glutamate, what happens? Now glutamate now undergo what you call oxidative deamination. Glutamate undergo oxidative deamination. Why? So that if you undergo oxidative deamination to form alpha ketoglutarate, what happens? It gives off amino group in form of ammonia. Why? Because hey, I want to remove my amino group in form of ammonia, because when there's high amino acid will build up to form what we call hyperammonemia. There will be high amount of what ammonium in the body, so the body remove the excess amino acid in form of what? Ammonia. So how can it remove it? First of all, we form alanine enter into the blood to the liver, undergo transamination again to form pyruvate and glutamate. Then glutamate now undergo deamination oxidatively by glutamate dehydrogenase. So go watch my video on deamination. Glutamate undergoes oxidative deamination by glutamate dehydrogenase to form what? Alpha ketoglutarate. So when it is undergoing deamination, what happens? It is removing amino group in form of ammonia. So what is the goal of that ammonia? I want to remove ammonia as urea safely from the body. The removal of ammonia safely from the body in form of what? Urea, by what we call urea cycle. So that is how the body eliminates amino group in form of what? Ammonia. Now what does pyruvate do? Pyruvate now undergoes what we call gluconeogenesis. Pyruvate undergoes what we call gluconeogenesis. So that's what I'm doing. In the muscle, there's high amount of what? Amino group. Are you getting that? So that pyruvate is transaminated to form alanine, passes through the blood. You produce what? Alanine. Alanine undergoes transamination, the same process which we did. So that pyruvate undergoes gluconeogenesis to form what? Glucose in the what? Liver. And that glucose, what does glucose do? Glucose now undergoes glycolysis now to form what? ATP. So it makes sense to you. So you see how exciting is it? First of all, pyruvate forms alanine. Alanine undergoes transamination, releasing amino group in form of urea, thereby undergoing gluconeogenesis to form glucose. Glucose now undergo glycolysis to produce ATP. So the first one, transamination. Now looking at the picture here, what do you see? In the muscle, protein, which is amino acid, the protein part of amino acid undergoes transamination to form pyruvate. Pyruvate now undergoes transamination with glutamate to form alanine. Are you getting that? In the muscle, alanine leaves the blood. You can see the arrow. Alanine leaves the blood and transaminates back to what? Pyruvate using what? ALT. Again, now so ALT is alanine transaminase. So alanine transaminase is being transaminated with alpha ketoglutarate. Are you getting now? To form pyruvate and what? Glutamate. So now pyruvate undergo gluconeogenesis to form glucose, while glutamate remove ammonia into the urea cycle to produce what? Urea, whereby the kidney can what? Excrete ammonia safely as what? Urea. While glutamate now, while glucose now is transported back to the muscle, where it undergoes what? Glycolysis for the process of what? ATP. You see now, that's how the body balances glucose formation, glucose breakdown safely. So what is the significance of nitrogen transport now? First of all, safely transporting what? Ammonium nitrogen from the muscle to the liver. First of all, we want to safely transport it. Are you getting now? So when we safely transport it, it will be easier, so it will not produce toxicity in the body, to prevent accumulation of ammonia in the muscle. So when ammonia is what? High in the muscle, what happens? It will be what we call instead of lactic acidosis, there will be more of alkalosis. It will increase the pH, and when the pH is increased, there will be imbalance acid to base in the body, and it could cause issues in the muscle. Also, the same ammonia now is channeled for urea formation, and if you form urea using urea cycle, you can safely transport the ammonia away from the kidney as what? Urea. maintain blood glucose during fasting, because during fasting what happens, our amino group are transaminated and oxidatively deaminated to form alpha ketoglutarate, which is used to break down excessive glucose and to form excessive glucose. Because naturally, when there's high fat state, what happens, you form protein. After protein, you form fatty acid, you form carbohydrate to make ATP. But during fasting, all those stored food are broken down. So this is how our body balances between glucose formation and glucose breakdown. Now it links protein metabolism to carbohydrate metabolism. Yeah, because from pyruvate is a product of glycolysis. So after pyruvate is channeled to form amino acid. So that is amino acid metabolism, which is also protein. Then what happens? So the balance between protein metabolism and carbohydrate metabolism between alanine and pyruvate is called the linkage between them. So they provide ATP even though during fasting starvation exercise. So during fasting starvation exercise, when your body is broken down alanine, what happens? You are removing urea, you are also forming glucose, and you are using that glucose to form ATP. So that is the significance here, which I have explained to you. So to summarize everything, what happens? Remember, pyruvate in the muscle. What happens? Pyruvate in the muscle is transaminated with glutamate to form alanine. Alanine passes through the blood. I get it now. When it passes through the blood, alanine goes into the liver where it's transaminated with alpha ketoglutarate. When it's transaminated with alpha ketoglutarate, what happens? You form pyruvate and what we call glutamate. Glutamate does what? Glutamate undergo oxidative deamination to give off what? Alpha ketoglutarate and eliminate ammonia. So that ammonia is donated to the urea cycle where it is safely removed out from the body. Are you getting now? As urea. Then from there, the alpha ketoglutarate undergoes a gluconeogenetic pathway to form what? Gluconeogenesis to form alpha ketoglutarate undergoes gluconeogenesis to form what? Glucose. Glucose now is broken down to what? Glycolysis to form what? ATP. So what are we doing? Eliminating excess amino acid as you get it as urea, and thereby forming ATP from what? Glucose. So I hope it all made sense to you and you have understood everything I've talked about in this glucose-alanine cycle. So it is very important, it's very sweet, that's why I'm teaching it like this. So look at it, read it, and explain it very well, very nicely like this. Okay, now it will be very, very helpful for you if you understand it like this. So if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and turn on your post notification button so that every time I drop any video, you'll be sure to be notified. If you want me to make a video for you, drop it down in the comment section. I promise I'll make that video for you too. So I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye bye.